व्हाट हैपन, मतलब रजिस्टर करके नहीं आने का क्या रीजन है? Anyways, let's just start with the session. So let's make it more interactive. So before going to the presentation, anyone want to interact, like tell me about why you choose Android and other things? तो जो पिछले सेशन में थे, एक बार हैंड रेज करें प्लीज. कितने न्यू ऑडियंस है, लेट मी नो. हर्षवर्धन, विनीत, आप भी थे आई थिंक. मानसी, आप भी थे. So anyways, let's start with the session. So I welcome you all to this Android Study Jam and session of prior to programming experience track. Like last session was on new to programming track, and this is on prior to programming. Like for those who have some programming experience, not in Android but in any language, they have some programming experience. So if you are new to programming, I will consider you should consider new to programming track that is also available on the website. Moving further, so in last session we accomplished a lot. So we started to learn important topics in Kotlin, and for now on we will be applying the knowledge to build Android apps. It's okay if you feel like you haven't mastered Kotlin yet, and this is just the beginning, and you will be more confident with the Kotlin language with more practice. So let's talk about what you will learn as a part of this track, Android Study Jam. So first you will learn the essential of the Kotlin programming language. The language you will be used to develop Android apps, and then you will install Android Studio on your computer and build a variety of Android apps in Kotlin by following the code labs provided in the curriculum. So along the way, you will be learning best practice for Android, including app architecture and UI development. Another goal is to introduce you to resources from where you can continue to learn development on your own. So here are some of the prerequisites that will be helpful for this session. Prior programming experience as well as experience with an IDE and GitHub are all recommended. It's also helpful if you have an Android device so you can test your apps. A USB cable will be needed for connecting your phone to the computer. If you don't have an Android device, don't worry, you can still use your computer to emulate Android devices and emulate an Android device. Let's start with a question so I can get to know a little more about you. What is your favorite programming language and why? And you can take out a piece of paper and write your answers down. So I'm giving you 1 minute and write your answer down, and after that we will share your answer. So 1 minute is complete, and who would like to share? What is your favorite programming language and why? Yes, sir. Unmute yourself.
But yeah, my favorite programming language is Python because there are many pre-designed modules are available. So it take you can say less time to code,
Okay.
and also it is easy to learn. That's why.
Okay. Anyone else?
Mine is also Python because it's easy to learn.
Easy to learn in the sense.
Easy algorithm and all.
Okay, like it has the implementation and you just have to write some short statements and that's all. Okay. Anyone else? Vineet, uh, Anshi, Ayush, Devesh, no one? No issue. Let's continue. So, uh, let's keep those qualities of your favorite programming language in mind and throughout the session, and you will let me introduce you to Kotlin. So, one more question for you: that why are you interested in building apps? Like, is it because you have an app idea, or want to explore a new career path, or just want to try something new? So, come forward, try to speak. Why are you interested in building apps in Android? No issue, Arvind. Just unmute
Want to
yourself.
explore, want to explore more about it and learn how to build it, and many more options available in
Okay, okay. So, anyone else?
Yes, where we are interested in building an app because nowadays you can see that every application or every utility which you need can be easily controlled through mobile phones. Also, because in AI and more such devices, it will be an handy thing if we will build an app for a particular AI or a robot, or you can say we can also implement in the business ideas also. That's why.
Okay, okay. Anyone else want to share?
See, good afternoon, Bhaiya. So,
Good afternoon.
in my opinion, studying in why I'm interested in building Android apps. See, because I want to just learn some new technology so that I'm aware about it. Okay, what's new? So I want to just test. I want to just learn through by doing different projects. Just because
That's
if I'm doing regular projects on various applications such as making apps, so this test my knowledge and also my accuracy, that how I'm learning and how much I'm learning, how I have to do well. Because with now practical applications, we don't know how we are learning good. In theoretical, we are learning C, Java, Python. Okay, but if we are applying it, such as we are making any basic Android app or making basic Android game also on, so that also encourages us to learn more and to test our knowledge also. That's why.
you are nice. Keep that thing in mind throughout the session and throughout this course. You will be going to learn many more interesting things. Anyone else? Like 10 जने हो यार इतना मत शर्माओ. Okay, no issue. Let's go forward. So let me tell you why you should go for Android Study Jam. Like there are many courses out there, but why should you go with? So the reasons being for choosing the Android Study Jam is because it's a community event and you will be getting a lot of exposure and fellow mates to work with. Other things are the code labs are developed by Google Developer Training Team with up-to-date content. Like most of the labs, like last lab I have done, it's updated on 20th December 2020. So the course is very much updated. Like most of time, the I faced issues like the libraries are deprecated, like they are outdated and not supporting each other. So this course is up to date, so you will not getting that issue. And along the way, you will be learning best practices for Android, including app architecture and UI development. Like many courses, they just teach you the basics, like how to implement something and leave you there. But in this code lab, you are going to learn how to maintain your code and good practices in coding, like how to maintain a code that it will be more robust and easy to maintain. And you will be also learning the UI development basics, like how to improve the looking of your app and all that things. And the last thing that you will be getting a certificate for completing the study jam, like for this track only, like prior to programming track, in the end you will be getting a certificate if you complete all the code labs. So moving further, today's schedule is like the presentation is going on, and after in this presentation we are going to have a quick review of Kotlin, like why you should go for Kotlin than Java. Like there are two supported language for Android, but Kotlin is becoming more popular now, and you will get to know why. And then we introduce you to Kotlin Quants, which is in which you will going to learn advanced Kotlin. Like they are just quick introduction, and you will be doing on your own time. And then app building concept, like common keywords and something. And then I will introduce you to code labs, like how will you going to complete them and how will earn the badge. And then okay, there is issue for this fun activity, so we will be skipping that. Further, that you will be building these Android apps in Kotlin. Each one will be help you learn new concepts that build on each other. So first we will be a dice roller app. We will be creating a dice roller app, and it allows you to roll a dice when a button is clicked and get random values each time. And after that, you will be building about me app that allows you to showcase interesting fact about yourself, and you can customize the app for friends, family, or pets. After you will build the Color My View app, an interactive app with more advanced layout. And there are many more apps, like many interesting apps with great UI and functionality. You will be going to connect to internet, save data in the database, background processes, and many more things are there. So let's just dive in and answer this question, that what is Kotlin? So Kotlin is a modern programming language that helps developers to be more productive. It was started as a project by JetBrains in 2010 and was made open source under the license Apache 2.0 license. With Kotlin 1.0 released in 2016, the language has quickly gained the traction among the developer community and in industry. Kotlin is one of the fastest growing programming language according to GitHub. So let's see why Kotlin is gaining so much popularity. Like benefits of these are some of the key benefits that developers enjoy with Kotlin. Like the Kotlin language is expressive and concise, allowing you to express your ideas with less code. This reduces the amount of boilerplate code in your project. Kotlin helps you write safer code with features that help you minimize common programming errors like null pointer exceptions. Kotlin is 100% interoperable with Java, which means you can call Java-based code from Kotlin and vice versa. If you already have an existing Android app in Java, you can add a little or as much as Kotlin code to the project as you want. Another key benefit that Kotlin offers is structured concurrency with Kotlin coroutines. So they simplify background task management from everything to network calls or accessing local data, which are common to mobile apps. So moving forward, how does this relate to Android development? Like in 2017, Google announced that Kotlin would be another official supported language on Android. Then in 2019, Google announced that Android development would become increasingly Kotlin first. Like any development will be first, like any libraries or project will be first made in Kotlin and then it is available in Java. So with the span of several years, Kotlin has gained rapid adoption in the Android development ecosystem. And nowadays, over 70% of the top 1,000 Android apps are Kotlin based, and 60% of professional Android developers use Kotlin. So there has been a better time start learning Kotlin to take advantage of latest feature of Android. So on that note, let's dive in and look at the basics of Kotlin and how it look like. So what does everyone think this code does? Like, see this code if you are familiar to programming, so just you will have an idea what it does. Anyone want to tell like what this code does?
It will print hello world.
Okay, nice, it will print hello world. Yes. So uh, but what are some things you noticed about Kotlin? Like looking at the statements, there are lines here, and what did you notice in this code? Right. हर्षवर्धन अनम्यूट कर दो आप, ऐसे हैंड रेज करने कोई इतना वो नहीं है, लाइक भीड़ नहीं है इतनी अपने पास.
Yes, sir. It is print ln. It will change the line.
Okay, good. You noticed the function, and any other things you noticed, like how the function is defined and scopes and all the things.
Bhaiya, it is a main function, just like which we have in C language.
Yes, it is main function, and it is compulsory to have a main function.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, Let me break down it for you. Like function is defined by a fun keyword. You can see just before the declaration name of the main, and the main function is there, which is compulsory to run the app if you in normal Kotlin code. Like if you stand alone making a code in Kotlin, the main function is compulsory. But in while we developing Android apps, there is some other function we not include main function. And one more thing, like many of you said, like we like Python, so some features of Python are there. Like you can see, we don't have to use semicolon here, and many more things are similar to Python. You will see very soon. So let's move further and see some more piece of code. So here's other examples of function in Kotlin. Like we declare with the fun keyword as you saw before, and what's new here is seeing how functions parameter are defined. So functions parameter are defined like there are two parameters in the function a and b, and both are type of int. So each parameter name, and then insert a colon followed by a space and then data type. So something difference in syntax. Other things are pretty much similar to the standard programming language. And after the parameter, insert a semicolon followed by a space and then return types of the function. So this function returns int, and within the function body, specifying the return value of function with the return keyword in Kotlin. If there is no return value, you can specify unit as a return type, or for more concise code, you can just omit the return type from the main function declaration, and as you saw in the main function, right? Main function is returning nothing in the previous code, so we don't write something there, and that's it. And here is another example, like in display function, it's written unit. I get written nothing, then we write unit here, and if we omit that, there is no issue. And now let's discuss variables. So you can declare variable with the var keyword for mutable variables, or with the val keyword for immutable variables. Like अगर var keyword दिया लिख के हम डिक्लेयर करते हैं तो वो immutable होंगे, लाइक उनको फिर बाद में आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते. एक बार वैल्यू असाइन हो गई तो वो वही रहेगी ऑल थ्रू आउट द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ इट. और val val से उसको डिक्लेयर करते हैं तो उसको हम चेंज कर सकते हैं. Then use var if you want to change the value, and like counter variable that could be updated, and use val if you need to assign the variable once. In this case, we don't expect the name to change, so we used val, and it is recommended to use val over var when possible. And notice that regardless of whether the keyword var or val was used, the object themselves may be still be mutable or not. For example, you can declare a mutable list with it well keyword, and while the reference to the list doesn't change, you can still add or remove the items from my list. Like अगर कोई well keyword से list define की तो जो वो वेरिएबल है वो उसका रेफरेंस कंटेन कर रहा है, तो रेफरेंस चेंज नहीं होगा, पर लिस्ट में हम चेंज कर सकते हैं. There are also valid way to declare variables in Kotlin. So what did you notice about this code? like इसमें क्या डिफरेंस लगा? पिछले में अभी वेरिएबल डिक्लेयर किया था और इसमें भी, पर डिफरेंस क्या लगा दोनों में? शो यू लाइक ये यहाँ पर हमने डिक्लेयर किया है और यहाँ पर भी डिक्लेयर किया है, तो दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या?
इसमें डाटा टाइप मेंशन नहीं है.
ओके, यू आर राइट, इसमें डाटा टाइप मेंशन नहीं है. सो दिस इज मच सिमिलर टू पाइथन. लाइक आपने लेंथ को डिक्लेयर किया और उसमें 5 असाइन कर दिया, तो compiler will know that the length is type of int. You don't have to explicitly define it. And again in message, if you assign it with string, अगर string आप डाल रहे हो तो compiler को पता चल जाएगा कि ये string टाइप का है, तो आपको अलग से लिखने की जरूरत नहीं होगी. So very much similar to Python. Most of you people think Python is easy to write, so Kotlin is very much similar to Python. And then you have control flow statements in Kotlin, which may look similar to what you've seen in other languages with some differences. Like you can write if-else statement as shown here. If condition within the parenthesis is true, then the branch will be executed. None of the condition are met, then we fall into the else block. And you can also use the when keyword for conditional, similar to a switch statement in Java. Like जैसे switch statement होता है वैसे ही नया introduced किया है Kotlin में when statement. And in this example, when x is equal to 0, call the end game and function, and when it's equal to 1, call to next function, and so on. When the statement can make your code more compact instead of creating multiple if-else branches checking the values of a variable. लाइक इस एल्स वाले ब्लॉक को देखे तो काफी इसमें वो रहता है कि कोड लिखना पड़ता है, लंबा हो जाता है, पर वैन जब इंट्रोड्यूस किया इन्होंने तो काफी इसको कॉम्पैक्ट कर दिया. लाइक जब एक्स की वैल्यू 0 होगी तो डायरेक्ट एरो जो पॉइंट आउट कर रहा है कि एंड गेम फंक्शन को कॉल करेंगे, और तो कोड लिखना काफी इजी हो जाएगा और बहुत कॉम्पैक्ट हो जाएगा. वो चीजें हैं, तो पाइथन से कंपेयर कर सकते हैं. लाइक बहुत कॉम्पैक्ट चीजें हैं तो इजी रहेगा लिखना. और लाइब्रेरीज
वैन तो यस सर, ये जो वैन था ना सर, ये स्विच की तरह ही था.
हाँ, स्विच की तरह ही है वेरी मच लाइक, पर स्विच में आपका कोड थोड़ा वो केस वगैरह लिखने पड़ते हैं, वो चीजें नहीं रखी है और बहुत इसको कॉम्पैक्ट कर दिया है. लाइक ब्रेक वगैरह होते हैं स्विच में, आपको ब्रेक लिखना पड़ता है, नहीं तो वो सारा ही रन कर देगा, फिर नहीं डिफॉल्ट भी देना पड़ता है, तो वो चीजें हटा के इसको बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्पैक्ट कर दिया है. तो इट विल
तो ये तो
मोर
इजी हो जाएगा सर. और
वही चीजें वही तो करा है फिर कि आपको अननेसेसरी कोड नहीं लिखना पड़े. लाइक अगर आप कंडीशन देनी ही है तो इतना लिखने की कहाँ जरूरत है, बार बार आप केस लिखो फिर ब्रेक लगाओ उसमें और वो सब चीजें, ये बहुत कॉम्पैक्ट हो गया. Okay, now further, like Kotlin support both functional and object-oriented programming styles. So for OOP, you can create classes and object instance, and as shown here, and within a single line of code, you can define a class called square, and it has one property, the length of its size. Then we initiate a square object instance with a length of 10 and store it in a variable called s. Look at this code, and what does this line s.side print? लाइक इस कोड को जिसको प्रोग्रामिंग मतलब जानता है, इस कोड को देख के बता सकता है लाइक लास्ट लाइन क्या प्रिंट करेगी. So simple logic, just see the code, 3 lines are here. Tell me what the last line will print. इट विल प्रिंट 10। इतना सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, आंसर सारा सामने ही है। तो लाइक वी हैव दिस क्लास है अपने पास स्क्वायर की, और इसमें वैल्यू है एक साइड की जो इन टाइप की है। लाइक यहाँ पर हमने डिफाइन इसलिए किया है क्योंकि अब इनिशियलाइज नहीं कर रहे, तो एक बार कंपाइलर को बताना पड़ेगा कि किस टाइप का आर्ग्यूमेंट एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं। इस प्रतीक, यू वांट टू स्पीक? तो बाद में जब इनिशियलाइज करते हैं इसको, तो एक वेरिएबल लिया s, और इसमें इसका ऑब्जेक्ट इनिशियलाइज करके 10 पास कर दिया। तो साइड में जो वैल्यू गई है वो 10 है, और लास्ट में जब हम प्रिंट करेंगे तो ऑब्जेक्ट लिखेंगे जो कि s है, और डॉट साइड मतलब इस वैल्यू को रेफरेंस कर रहे हैं हम साइड को, तो 10 प्रिंट कर देगा यहाँ पे। That's it. So let's move further. And Kotlin standard libraries also offers a lot of functionality to help you manage and manipulate collections of items easily. So you can create a list, you can create sets and maps. Map, for example, like it will map these two, like it will map A to 10, B to 20, and again B to 30. So B has two values mapped with it, 20 and 30. So this is just a brief overview of some of the basics of Kotlin, and you will dive into more detail in hands-on part of this course. Like in the Kotlin Quants, you will be getting to know more about Kotlin, how you can write complex code in just 2 or 3 lines. Like in Java, the code, if you want to convert the 2 3 lines of Kotlin code in Java, it will take like 10 to 20 lines of code. So Kotlin is more compact. So to reflect on what you just learned, what did you notice about Kotlin, how it is similar or different to existing programming language, you may know. So you want to tell like what are similarities to other language, or what are differences? What did you notice in previous slides? क्या नोटिस किया, क्या डिफरेंस है, क्या वो सिमिलर है दूसरों से?
We have to write return function for the values we want to be displayed.
ये एनीवन एल्स, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं लगा या फिर कोई सिमिलरिटीज भी नहीं लगी किसी लैंग्वेज से?
C language
Yes, sir.
में it brackets are used as we use in C language.
ये फर्स्ट यू आर स्पीकिंग समथिंग like
Yes, yes, ma'am. Actually, I got network issue, sir. So, what can you repeat the question once again, please?
आपने कॉटलिन में मतलब क्या नोटिस किया, क्या सिमिलरिटी है दूसरों से, या क्या डिफरेंट है, कुछ यूनिक सा या ऐसा कुछ?
Yes, ma'am. In Kotlin, we can find some similarity. You can say it's an hybrid of C and Python. Moreover, it has some additional feature like we don't want to write any break statement or any useless statement to make our code short and easy to understand to increase its readability. So it's, and you can say we can learn with an ease. That's the thing.
So let's move further. Anyone else want to speak? No? Let's move further. So let's talk about how the rest of the session will work. And so then under you can start Kotlin cones, like before you start the actual track of prior to programming experience, you have to brush up your knowledge of Kotlin or improve it. So you can do Kotlin Quants, which is part of the code lab, to improve your proficiency in Kotlin. So you can go there on the website of this course, and there you have the options under the prior to programming track, which is on right side, and you can go and start Kotlin codes there. So when you click, you will be working with through Kotlin codes a set of interactive exercise on the Kotlin language website. So this exercise will help you ramp up quickly on the language syntax and important aspect of the Kotlin language. If you are wondering what is cone, it is a paradoxical riddle or a puzzle, like कौन का मतलब होता है like puzzle type of something. तो मैं बेसिकली क्या होगा, आपको कोड कोड ब्लॉक दिया होगा एक, और उसमें कुछ चीजें मिसिंग होंगी, तो आपको वहां पे फिलअप करना होगा. और so it's a fun on flavor. So to give you a brief tour of the interface, on the left hand side you will see the category of exercise that you will walk through: introduction, conventions, collections, property, builders, and generics are there. So you can do them on your own time if you would like. And once you click into a category and click into an exercise, the instructions for the exercise will appear on the right hand side. You will be typing your code in the middle. The start code will already be provided for you, and you will type your answer in the place marked as to do so. वहाँ फील्ड होगा जहाँ आपको मतलब आधा कोड आपको मिलेगा कुछ, और कुछ आपको लिखना होगा. तो जहाँ टू डू लिखा हुआ है वहां पर आपको कोड फिलअप करना है. So when you think you have your answer, click the play button. Some unit test will be run to verify your code, and the output of this test will show below your code. So if you get stuck or want to start over with the original code provided in an exercise, click the revert button. अगर कुछ गलत कर दिया है और समझ नहीं आ रहा तो आप रिवर्ट बटन क्लिक करोगे तो वापस इनिशियल स्टेट पे पहुंच जाएगा वो जैसा कोड आपको मिला था. और एज यू वर्क यू कैन call me over if you have any questions. So if you truly get stuck, there is an option to show answers, but use that as a last resource, since you will remember the concept much better if you can solve the Kotlin cons without looking at the answer. Like आपके पास option भी होगा show answer का, but तो last option रखिएगा. So if you click the black play button in the top menu bar, you will be open the Kotlin Playground, which is another helpful tool. This will allow you to practice writing and running Kotlin codes and with a web browser without needing to install an IDE. Like आपको simple Kotlin code run करना है तो आप Playground पे जा सकते हो, Kotlin Playground पे, और वहाँ पर आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो. किसी आईडी वगैरह को इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिंपल वेब ब्राउजर में आप यूज कर सकते हो. So, अगर आप stuck, if you get stuck somewhere, so just leave a message on Discord. I will providing the link for it, or through the cons on your own before starting the main code lab, so you get more familiar with the Kotlin. Okay, so let's start by jumping right into the concept of Android development. First thing that you will see in Android development is Android Studio. You will work on Android Studio entirely for developing Android apps. So Android Studio is the official tool that professional Android developers use to build Android apps, and there is a lot of functionality available in Android Studio to help you build your app. For example, there is a template to help you create your app, which can generate something like what you see in the screenshot. And you can browse project file on the left, and you can use the layout editor to drag and drop the UI components and create a layout for your app. Once you add a UI component, you can modify its attribute in the attribute window on the right hand side. तो बेसिकली क्या है कि एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो आपको लाइक प्री मेड टेम्पलेट्स प्रोवाइड करता है. आपको ऐप स्टार्ट करना है तो आपके पास टेम्पलेट होगा एम्प्टी एक्टिविटी का, उसके बाद बेसिक और मैप्स वगैरह आपको यूज करना है. मैप एक्टिविटी का भी उसमें टेम्पलेट है, तो आप जस्ट क्रिएट प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे और आपको बेसिकली इस स्क्रीन पे लाके छोड़ेगा एंड्रॉइड, जहाँ वो जो फंडामेंटल चीजें हैं वो ऑलरेडी वहां पर बना के आपको देगा. तो आपको ज्यादा यूं कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं होगा. आप जस्ट यूआई ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप से यूआई बना सकते हो, और कॉटलिन का आपको वहाँ पे फाइल मिलेगी, उसमें आप अपना लॉजिक लिख सकते हो. तो बेसिकली एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो मेक द वर्क लॉट मोर इजी. And after you install Android Studio on your computer, you will create a Hello World app. You will learn to run the app in the emulator, which emulates an Android device on your computer. The emulator allows you to test your apps on a variety of devices and versions of the Android platform. And if you have a physical device, you can get the instructions to run it on the physical device as well. तो बेसिकली क्या है कि एंड्रॉइड स्टूडियो आपको एमुलेटर प्रोवाइड करता है जिसमें आप अपने एप्स को रन करके टेस्ट कर सकते हो. और क्योंकि ये काफी रिसोर्स इंटेंसिव होता है, लाइक अगर आपके पास इतने रिसोर्सेस नहीं है, लाइक पीसी में आपका लो ऑन रिसोर्सेज है तो आप, मैं सजेस्ट करूंगा ना यूज करें आप फिजिकल डिवाइस यूज करें टेस्ट करने के लिए, तो उसके भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस आपके पास है कोड लैब में। यस सर, वांट टू से समथिंग?
Yes, where I actually doubt in downloading Android Studio. There are three kinds: simple one, beta version, and Fox Canary. Sir, can you please tell me the difference between all three?
So it is recommended to not use the like uh, Canary version or beta version, like they are in test phase. So install rather using them, just use the stable version. It will be more better. Like अगर जो वो आपके पास है कैनरी वर्जन है या फिर बीटा वर्जन है, वो टेस्ट फेज में है, उन पे अभी टेस्ट चल रहा है, तो इतने मतलब स्टेबल नहीं होंगे, तो एरर्स आएगी कुछ, या हो सकता है कि आपका कोड सही रन ना करे, जो आपका सिंटेक्स सही हो पर वहां पर कुछ एरर्स आ जाए, ऐसा कुछ। तो रेकमेंडेड यही है कि आप स्टेबल वर्जन यूज करें।
Yes, Bhaiya. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Okay. So moving further, then you will build an interactive layout. Like a layout is defined the structure for the user interface in your app. Like what you see on a screen is all defined as a layout. So you can define that, and Android and layouts in Android are made up of hierarchies of view and view groups. Like एक लेआउट में आपके व्यूज होंगे, देन व्यू ग्रुप्स होंगे, उसमें पेरेंट व्यू होगा, चाइल्ड व्यू होगा। So all of these things are in the code lab. You will get to know them one by one. So here are some types of views that are provided by Android, like text view for displaying text, image view for displaying an image, and button to perform some actions when tapped. And further, to position one or more views on the screen, use a view group. Like आपको बहुत सारे views रखने हैं screen पे, तो you can use the view group to organize them. So here are some example of view groups in Android. So first is the frame layout. So when you have only one view to put somewhere, you can use the frame layout, and use linear layout to display a row of views or a column of views, so as shown in the diagram. Like you can put the views like vertically and horizontally in the linear layout, and use the constant layout for more complex layouts. You may hear the view group referred to as a parent and the views inside it as its child. So declare layout in Android Studio using XML. Like drag and drop is available there, and you can also edit them in XML code. If you comfortable with XML, use XML, or you are comfortable with drag and drop, you can use drag and drop. So for example, this is what a text view element look like in XML. The value of the Android text attribute is the text to display, which is hello world, and the layout width and height attributes were wrap content, meaning that the text view will as wide and as tall as the content inside it. So defining the UI layout in XML is one aspect of your code. You will be exploring other aspects of basic Android app project, which includes a main activity, resources for your app, and Android manifest file and Gradle file. So an activity is how the user interacts with your app, and it takes care of creating a window to display your UI in. Resources are the additional files and static contents that your code uses, such as layout files, images, audio files, UI strings, themes, and more. Every project also includes a Android manifest.xml file. It describes essential information about your app, such as the app's package name, component of the app, and permission it needed to access. Like आप ऐप इंस्टॉल करते हो तो वो परमिशंस के लिए पूछता है, या फिर जो आपकी एक्टिविटीज होंगी वो उसमें एंड्रॉइड मैनिफेस्ट में डिफाइंड होती है, तो जो भी परमिशन आप ऐप के लिए रिक्वायर्ड है वो वहाँ आपको पहले डिफाइन करनी पड़ेगी। And Android uses Gradle to automate and manage the build process for your apps. Like Gradle फाइल में जो भी आपके बिल्डिंग ऐप बिल्डिंग से रिलेटेड जो भी उसमें प्रोसेस होती है, जैसे आपका ऐप मर्ज होगा या फिर कैसे उसमें ये होंगी कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस वगैरह, क्या क्या यूज हो रहा है लाइब्रेरी, वो सारी Gradle फाइल में आपके included होती है. So you can configure the build by modifying the Gradle file in your app to specify project dependency, properties of your app, build variants, and more. So this is a quick overview of the anatomy of a basic app project. You will have more time to dive in and explore these files firsthand in the course. आपको लाइक डायरेक्टली इंटरेक्ट करने को मिलेगा कोर्स में इन फाइल से और आप चेंज करके अपने ऐप की प्रॉपर्टीज को वो कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. And then, speaking of the course, let's talk logistics. So you will be working through the first part series of the Android Kotlin fundamental course on the developer.android.com, and let's look at how you will access and navigate around this online course. So similar to the last session, just go to this web address. I am posting it in the chat section. Just a minute. You can visit this site and you can start right there. So I have put the link in the chat section. You can access it and look at the prior programming experience track. For each pathway you complete, you will be getting a badge for it. Like you will start the course and there are pathways in it. So each pathway you complete, like there are code labs for pathways, and then there is a quiz. When you completed the quiz, you will get a badge for it. And all the badges that you earn in this track will be saved on your Google developer profile. So don't forget to create one. Once you visit this course, you will have the option to create your developer profile. So under the Android fundamental course, click the green button to start the course. And this is what the course look like. There are 2 units and 10 pathways total, represented by each of these badges. Click the explore button in unit 1 and you will going to work through these pathways. Like unit in first you build your first app, hello world, and then in second pathway you will build interactive app. Then you will learn about layout, navigation, activity, and segment life cycles. This is the first unit, consists of 5 pathways, and when you click into a pathway, this is what it looks like. A pathway is defined as an ordered sequence of learning activities such as code lab to learn a specific skill. At the end of each pathway, you will take a quiz and have a chance to earn a badge. Like आप pathways जैसे pathway complete करेंगे, आपको हर pathway के लिए badges मिलेंगे. And these are 3 badges for the first 3 pathways of the course. And once you earn the badges, you can save it to your developer profile. So, okay, that's it. Let's get started. If you have any questions on the content or setting up Android Studio, feel free to ask me or ask each other. I encourage you to work together to find solutions, specifically if you finished early and people around you may need your help. So try to interact with each other, or if you're stuck somewhere, just ask me. So click on the link. Let me take you to the code lab so we can have an overview that how you will going to complete the code lab. Let me just present the screen so you can see how you going to do the code labs. So here you can see as you visit the website, this screen will open and you have this option. So this is new to programming track where you can, like if you are a complete beginner in programming also, you can opt for this new to programming track, or else you can go for the prior to programming experience. So you will start Kotlin cons, like to be familiar with the Kotlin before starting the development in Android. So start the Kotlin cons and here is the interface. So you have this hello world first thing, and here you have this code. So this is a string, and as you write your code here and as you click the run button, it will test your code if it's correct or not, and if it's correct, it will it passed and you can go to the next one. And in the similar way, you can complete all this and be familiar with the Kotlin calls. So I'm just going out and show you the how will code labs, how you complete the code labs. Just go back to the home page and we have the option to start the prior to programming experience. So you will start the course here and you will have a 2 units. Each consist of 5 patches. So you click on explore in unit first and there is total of 5 pathways in it. So let us start with the first pathway. Click here. It will take you to the pathway and it has 2 code labs with a quiz. So first go to the take code labs and this will instruct you to how to install Android Studio. So here are the requirements what you will need to complete this code lab. So you have to have a computer running Windows, Linux or Mac, whatever. The Android Studio support all of them. And then free storage like several gigabytes and should have internet access. Then there is a step-by-step instructions to install Android Studio, like go to the download page and then accept the default configuration. Then after installation complete, Android Studio will download some additional files. So be patient, and when the installation completes, Android Studio starts automatically. And next, and then this code lab is complete. And in similar way, we are going to complete the second code lab. So I am introducing you at a faster pace, so I don't want to waste your time. So you can do on your own and be patient. Read each line's instructions carefully. You don't want to miss anything like the minor details then somewhere. So in this code lab, you will create your first tab. So you create a project in Android with Hello World, create an emulator, run Hello World on virtual and physical device, and explore the project layout. So here's the app overview, what you're going to build in this code lab, and then how to create a project. So start a new Android Studio project, select the activity type, like you have the basic activity, empty, navigation activity, and so you select one of them and the studio Android Studio provide with a project pre-made to get you started with the customized part only. Click next and here you will explore the interface of Android Studio. So in left hand side there is a explorer where you can explore the files, and in the middle the ID is there, and then files and Android XML you can explore it here, and then you will explore the Gradle files, like 2 Gradle files are there, module scope and app scope. And then in this part you will learn to how to run apps on a virtual device emulator. If you are low on resources, don't make emulators because it's a resource intensive and it will lag very much if you are low on resources. So if you are low on resources, try to run your apps on physical device. So to run the apps on physical device, you have to turn on the USB debugging and you have to allow it to use the USB debugging. So if you are connecting to someone else's PC, don't allow the USB debugging option because it gives the complete access of your cell phone to the other. And here it's completed. So the coding challenge has some extra things you want to do on your own, then summary, then learn more, then homework is here, then this is complete. So you click on done and then you can take the quiz. So completing the quiz, and you can submit the answer by completing the quiz, and then you will be on the patches. So let me show you the patches here. Let me complete it. Then auto-generated activity name file is auto-generated. Then Android XML contains activities in your app and permissions, and then AVD manager is used, and then Gradle file Then submit answer. I don't know what here. Let's see my developer profile. And maybe I'm not logging correctly. Just in. So let's leave this. In this way, you complete the code labs and you will getting the badges all. And once you completed the code labs, here you can see it says that you have earned the badges and see if it's display. I don't know why it's showing an error. I don't remember password. I must forget it. Okay, I will show you sometime else all the batches that I have earned. Already completed all this code labs. Present the slide. Okay, so you have any questions? Okay, I will leave you here to work on yourself. And so you can make the complete the code lab there. And if you stuck somewhere, I am leaving the Discord link down there, so you can join our Discord server and ask me there. So the link. This is the link for the Discord server, and you can join it. And if you have any doubt, regardless of what, in installing Android Studio, running apps, or maybe you stuck somewhere, or if you have any stuck somewhere on website, like I don't know why it's showing that. If you have such problems, you can contact me there on the Discord server. Yes, and I hope you all enjoy this session and learning and creating your Android apps. And on social media, you can post photos, highlights, or app screenshot from your apps using hashtag Android Study Jam, or you can also tag the DSC JGI or Developer Student Club. So if you want to continue learning after this code labs or something, here are some resources, and there are numbers of Android development resources available. So you can find learning content in varieties of format like videos, articles, code samples based on how you like to learn best. And I want to mention that we will having more Android studies jam session to cover the remaining pathways on uh, also for doubts or hands-on code labs. So let me know if you are interested in attending, and stay tuned for more information. And one last thing I want you to do is to vote for the next topic for the session by visiting this poll link. I'm giving it here. So visit this poll link and just give me a feedback of on which topic you want the next session on. Okay, that's it for today's session.
Thank you so much, Gaya, for taking our class. It's a very interesting session. Thank you, Bhaia. Thank you, everyone.